Go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another fantastical episode of The Old Noodle. Today is September 27th. It's another Sunday. We
Yeah,
keep slacking off here. Don't do them on Saturdays anymore. Um, it's 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Luke, why don't you give me
eight
your time?
8:12 over here Mountain Time.
Yeah. Yeah. So not as early for you. I feel
Nope,
like I normally drag your ass out of bed
it's usually
at
like seven.
like four in the morning. Well, because I text you and it is 4 in the morning.
Yeah, and
When it's
actually I
when
was
I'm
up at 4 in the morning today, so we could have done it,
Yeah,
but I went back to
yeah,
bed.
yeah. Well, it's I get up stupid early as it is anyway. I was up at like 7 this morning my time just because I gotta get up and do some shiz with my life
Mm-hmm.
before I hit the 9 to 5 grind. But anyway, enough about our boring lives. We've got a really structured episode for you guys today. I think we've got it
Finally.
pretty well laid out. So the first thing is that I've actually been getting kind of lucky with getting into betas recently as far as games go. I mean, I know that I've talked about being in preview programs with Microsoft and things like that, but I think the one that you and which I've gotten into it and I haven't really played that much, is the Rainbow Six Siege technical beta.
Mm-hmm.
And I've played rounds of games, but I've never completed a full match before. And so it's one of those things where you and I guess need to get off of
Actually play
Destiny
it.
for 5 seconds so we can play other games. But from what I've played so far, and you and I are both playing this on the PC right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one of those things too, like where I actually like hopped on for the few times that I had played, hopping on and like playing something on the computer again was it was invigorating, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, because I had always been, or here recently, I've always been going back onto my Xbox One or my PlayStation, and playing like that, and it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously, like I love my gaming consoles, but I also forgot how much I really enjoyed my computer.
Sure. Yeah, the really only thing we
And
played on it is Rocket League.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Recently, the only times that we had it was Rocket League and or maybe Arc. But I
Yeah,
mean,
every once
I,
in a while. That was very
yeah,
rare.
yeah. But it was something about like getting back on and like I guess playing more of a shooter
Right.
like on the computer, and I was like, oh damn, like.
This
But
actually really is enjoyable.
yeah, like I forgot how much I really like playing on my computer. But the another realization hit too, where my hardware is really starting to show its age now, and so that was it bummed me out because I was like, oh yeah, like I'm back on the computer, I'm playing this shit, and it's awesome. But it's everything's kind of on medium to low now, and I missed the days of where everything was on high to ultra,
Right.
and most of the time it was on ultra. But that's been 2 years ago now, and 2 years in PC world is like 10 years,
Right.
you know, or 2 year, yeah, 2 years in the real world is 10 years
10 years in
PC.
technology, right?
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I meant to say. But yeah, it's kind of a unfortunate wake up call because I'm wanting to get all these things. Like I'm wanting to upgrade. I'm wanting to ditch my hard drive because it's pretty much on its last bit.
Stance, yeah.
No pun intended. But there's not much left to go on it. It's been written and rewritten more times than I even want to imagine. Really,
Hmm.
it's had so much work put onto it, and I think it's just really time to junk it. I think it's served its purpose,
How
and
how big is it? Because I would just
it's a 1 terabyte.
just put on an extra SATA port and use it as storage when you get that SSD
Yeah. I mean, and the
until it
thing
finally
is
does completely die.
yeah. Well, it's not doing the thing where it's clicking or anything yet.
That's
Meaning
good.
that so the hand is still good on it as far as
Hmm.
writing and stuff like that. But I mean, you can really tell like writing speeds are slowing down because there's been so much data written and rewritten on it,
Hmm.
and it's just it really is straining to work at the performance level that it was when I first bought it. Which I
Right.
mean happens with everything over time, right? So, but I just really want to get a new hard drive. I want to get an SSD to put the operating system on. I want a second monitor. But and then on top of that, like I'm for sure getting a new vehicle.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to get, and I mean, I talked about this with my parents yesterday. I think I'm going to get a brand spanking new 2016 Subaru Crosstrek.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
I bought my first car this year and like brand new.
Hmm.
It's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
It's nice seeing like, I mean, it's we're at like 3,000 miles now, but when you first get it, and it's almost sucks when you see your mileage meter because it's brand new.
Hmm.
It's like, oh no, we
Hmm.
just hit 10 miles. Oh God.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's like, and I mean, and I had kind of experienced that with when I bought my motorcycle,
Yeah.
because I bought my motorcycle brand new back in
Well,
2012.
yeah, because
Or
motorcycles you can buy brand new. They're still
yeah,
affordable brand new.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, I know what you mean, though. I mean, but this will be my first, because every other car that I've had has been pre-owned
Hmm.
with a shit ton of miles on it, and
Right.
now and it's always been obviously, well, not obviously, but with the way that we bought pre-owned, it was always really an older model car, like an older year car. So, I mean,
Gotcha.
what I have now is a 2003, which is the most recent type, like, year car that I've ever had. Everything else was like early 90s and stuff like that. So, I mean, but this car that I have now, it had had a lot of adventures before I bought it. And then,
Hmm.
I ran it to hell as far as the trips that I used to make. And even now with my commute
Sure.
to work and
Hmm.
stuff, it's hard on it. So it's getting ready to need to be laid out to greener pastures, I think. But no, I'm super stoked because this will be like first like brand new car that I've ever owned. I mean, this is going to be I mean, it's not only is it brand new, but it's the newest year.
Right.
Like it's because we were talking yesterday, and when we first started talking about it, it was going to be like, oh, well, you're going to get a 2015. And I was like, "Psh, yeah, whatever. Like, that's absolutely fine. Like, I'm not, in that right, I'm not like really picky. And then we were talking yesterday and he goes, oh, well, 2015s are gone now. Cause like with Subarus, like they get bought up
Sure.
apparently.
Oh
So, I
yeah.
mean, so I'm not a car guru by any means, but yeah, like we were talking and he goes, oh yeah, we're going to have to look at 2016s now. And I was like, okay, as long as it's not like an arm and a leg more.
Right.
And
Well,
then he goes,
usually it's not because they have a lot more promotions on their new
yeah,
vehicles.
yeah. Well, that or I mean, it pretty much I think boiled down to where it was the same. It was going to be like the same price.
Hmm.
And then of course the only other thing to look into are like the different packages that they offer, which I'm not looking to get a fully decked out ride just because, nowadays like navigation systems and things like that, like I've got my phone for that.
Right.
Like all I need to do is buy like the $5 like universal mount to stick in the window and I'm
Right.
good to go, But well, and two, another thing, because my mom, she had and I can't remember what this. It was a Subaru, but I can't remember what the name of it was. But anyway, it was like one of the apparently like one of the rare occurrences that happens with Subarus where it's just like nothing works on it. So I mean,
A
she was the
lemon.
one, yeah, she was the one lucky person in the world apparently, because like she and again too, this could just be dealership talk, but she took it back, and this has been multiple times she had taken it back to get something fixed, and the dealer was like, oh, this is really bizarre. Oh, it was a Tribeca, is what it was,
Okay.
Subaru Tribeca. And he was like, "Yeah, this is really weird. Like, we never have Subarus come back. Like, I mean, we have them come back to perform some sort of maintenance on it because not Subarus are not perfect,
Hmm.
but the amount of times that she had brought this car back was insane to them apparently. Because he was just like, yeah, we don't know, like we can't tell what's wrong with it and things like that. But apparently, like it was really something wrong with the transmission, and so basically, she I mean, obviously they had to pay the difference on it, but she went ahead and she took the Tribeca back and got an Outback, and she absolutely loves it. And so I got to drive it. but there's this one thing, and I get it. Like I understand why they put this feature in there, but it still annoys the shit out of me. It's this sensor that when you start going over the double yellow lines, the car beeps at you,
Right.
and it's like, "Hey, get back over in your lane." And the first couple times it happened, I didn't know what was going on, and my mom was with me because we were going to go do something to show. She was like, "Yeah, if you want to drive there, so that way you can get a so you can whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I want to drive its new car, whatever." So we get going down, and like where we live, we have very narrow roads as it
Okay.
is. So and it's kind of it's kind of windy. So I'm whipping through, and whatever, and I hear this beep, and I'm talking. We're like having a conversation. I hear it beep, and it makes me pause, but I just keep going on. Like I keep talking, and like not even 60 seconds later, it beeps again, and I kind of like start looking around the car, and I'm like, what? Like to myself, I'm like, what is that? So we get down the road a little bit further, and it beeps again, and I'm like, okay, what is
What's
this?
happening?
What is happening? I'm like, I have my seatbelt on, like, and she goes, "Oh, you're not staying in your lane."
Mm.
And I looked at her and I'm like, "Of course I'm staying in my lane. Like, what are you talking about?" And she goes, "No, no, no. Like, one of your tires went over the double yellow line." And I was just like, "How the flip does this
Does the
car
car know
even
that?
know?" And yeah, so it's pretty crazy. I wanted to turn it off immediately once I figured out that that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But she said that she kind of justified it because she was like, "Well, you get all these, you know, dumbass people driving these cars that are texting,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of more so if they're texting and looking down,
It
they
beeps
don't.
and tells them,
Yeah, they
"Hey, get
don't.
off your phone, asshole."
Yeah,
Which would say that instead of beep.
I was gonna say, I
Get off
wish
your
it would
phone,
say
asshole.
that. Yeah, like all of a sudden, like, or it warns you, right? So the first time it's like, please stay in your lane, right? And
Right.
it has to be the like preppy, snotty British
Well,
voice.
if Subaru, it should isn't that Australian?
Maybe I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and be like, that I know. I just
I just figure Outback, Trebek is that's pretty sure
try.
that's
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
could
it's
be,
Australian.
could be. We'll need to do some research. But anyway, yeah. So in some foreign
Stay in your lane, mate.
accent, yeah. So it's just like, all right, and then like it just by the third time it like it takes control of the car,
Right?
pulls it over, and it's like, no, all right, now if we're not gonna get, and I just have
You
to
keep
default
switching
back
back.
to,
Right,
yeah, I
right.
just have to go back to my British. But it's just like if you're not gonna get off your damn cell phone here, we're gonna sit here until you can. And like you can't turn the car on, like it turns it off, but keeps the
Yeah,
electronics
shuts it
on.
off, pulls it over.
Yeah, like that would be hilarious. Like so many
Hmm.
people would be infuriated with that. Which speaking about cars, did you see where Volkswagen got outed as for having technology in their car that would pass emission tests?
Oh, to like make it pass without it actually passing.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, no, I didn't know that.
yeah.
I
Like
love Volkswagens too.
it was a big like it was a big deal. Like the CEO like stepped down and like all
Oh
this other
wow,
BS. Yeah, dude, like it was bad. Um, so yeah, they're yeah
that's some
they're
heat.
they're not having a good time right now. But I mean, and I like Volkswagens too. Like I always wanted a Golf.
Yep, I had one. I had the well, I had the GTI, which is the highest
Right.
Golf. I told you it caught on fire. I think we were talking at no, maybe not.
I
Maybe we
don't
weren't friends
know.
at
I
that
don't
point.
know.
It was bizarre, but
Hmm.
it was
Well,
a fun car though, dude.
probably
Fast.
some other software in there telling the car wasn't overheating. And,
Yeah, something. But it was fast, dude. That car was awesome.
yeah.
I had
I
that, and I
always
had the new Jetta.
yeah. See, and like my sister even had a Jetta growing up, and I always thought that was a pretty cool car.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then unfortunately she got sideswiped in it, so not
Gotcha.
not good. But yeah. So I'm pretty stoked about getting a new car.
Yeah, it's good news.
And I really like the Subarus. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're hipster because everybody else drives one." It's like, well, after you,
Everybody drives one because they win awards. It's
yeah,
just what it
well
is.
that and I definitely need something that's four-wheel drive
Mm-hmm.
because where I live, the snow can get kind of bad,
Sure.
and where my office is, it's like BFE, so it's like not always guaranteed that the roads are going to be properly cleared and salted.
Gotcha.
So, especially if it hits at a moment's notice too.
Right.
Um, so yeah, it was definitely like all-wheel drive was a requirement while still maintaining like decent gas mileage,
Mm-hmm.
and um, wow, what a tangent we got
Yeah.
off on.
Before we get back into the beta, let me play this intro vid 15 minutes
Oh,
into the
yeah, yeah,
into
sure.
it. I used to be able to hear it. I can't hear it anymore. All right.
Yeah, all right. We'll learn one day.
Yeah. We
We'll learn how
sometimes we're
to
good. Sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, we'll learn how to do this right one day. Uh, but no, so I know you said that we were going to play together for Rainbow Six Siege, but
Mm.
have you actually went off and just played any?
Well, that's why I put it
All
on. That's why I put it on the list.
okay,
I don't know if it's a Windows 10 issue or what, but as soon as I get into a game, it crashes.
really. Now I will say, whenever I close the game, like if I'm done playing and I go quit to desktop, it does that like early build thing where it can't close down properly, so
Mm-hmm.
you have to like do the not responding, like just force close
Gotcha.
it essentially. So I have experienced that every time that I close it, but
Yeah, I
I
don't
can
know
still play the game.
If it's a Windows 10 issue or what, but because we didn't play any Destiny yesterday, so I just wanted to get on it and just try it. Just one game. I just wanted to play one, and I tried like 4 or 5 times, and it just kept crashing. And
Jeez.
I wasn't in the mood to
Compatibility?
troubleshoot or
Have you done?
I'd see that. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't. I just wanted
Mhm.
to just play one. I didn't want to sit at my computer and like. I was just in a mood yesterday just to play, not to mess with anything else.
Right,
So
right.
I just
Well, I
didn't.
mean, I would try. I mean, I would at
Yeah,
least try to put it in like Windows
compatibility
8.
mode, sure.
Yeah, Windows 8. I mean, because I think now I think now games are coming. I mean, I would hope so by this time. They're getting to the point now where like their default is like Windows 8 or Windows 8.1
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. I mean, of course, you can still run them on like Windows 7 and things like that, but um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I'll try it. Maybe we can try and play some of that today too. So
yeah. Yeah. I don't know though, man. Like Destiny still
I
is
know it's.
got such a huge grasp.
We were talking about the thumbnail for the itch is real. It's
Hmm.
real. The itch is real.
It's yeah, it's really bad. Like I've been waking up like when you haven't been getting because I get up early in the morning before you do, obviously, and so I've been playing on the hunter class or the hunter character, and I've already passed my primary character in light
Mm-hmm.
level, which you said obviously happens a lot quicker because
You've
as
unlocked stuff
primary
with
you've
high.
already gotten a
Yeah.
lot of really good weapons and things like that. Um, but I think I've come to the and I I know I said we were going to go in order of topics here, but screw it.
Yeah, whatever.
Um, but I've been doing this thing where I basically have come to grips rather with wanting to do certain like storylines or quest lines for different characters.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the quest lines that has been available to us, but we haven't really tackled, was the one where you have to complete three. I think it was like I think they're called priority, like target priorities or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I went and I actually completed that on my hunter today because that was not something that you and I had really like been like, oh yeah, like I see this one, let's do this one. It was kind of
Mm-hmm.
one where it's like I see this one, what else is there?
Right.
So like I don't feel because like you and I have talked about, like I don't want to have one character and do everything on that one character for the day and then just be like, okay, well let's hop over to the other one or
Yeah,
to
do
the
them all
other one
again.
and do the same quest line for that one. I just think it just gets to a point where like that's just kind of too much.
Right.
I don't mind playing those three characters. But it's got to be more of like okay, well, I'll run strikes on this character now, and I'll run
Mm-hmm.
strikes on this character now, or I'll play Crucible on this character now. I can't do like full blown
Yeah, the
because
same
I had a
quest
hard
missions
time like,
over and
and
over.
that's why before the Taken King came out, I had such a hard time like trying to level any other character because I
Mm-hmm.
went through on my primary, played through the story missions and things like that, and then would switch to another character and be like,
Yep.
okay, and load up and I just, I mean, obviously I didn't get very far. I got in like the first 4 or 5 missions, and I wanted to shoot myself in the face because
Mm-hmm.
I had immediately done it. Um, and the only thing is, and another thing to kind of justify that too, is that it seems to me is you always get the same like weapon upgrade
Yeah, you
for
do.
that quest line. So it's like unless you really just get another one of the same to perhaps see if you get a different role for
Right.
that weapon, since there's no reforging anymore, um, or if you're expecting to infuse
Mm-hmm.
something with it or whatever it is. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be many people that do the same quest lines for all three characters.
Yeah.
I just am not planning on doing that though.
Yeah.
It's just too much. But like I said, I mean, I'll play multiplayer Crucible and do
Oh
Vanguard
yeah.
fights all day
Yeah.
long with all three characters because I mean that's fine. That's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely fine, and I can deal with that.
Yeah, the
But
drops are worth it, and
yeah, so I know you said that you had been gravitating more towards your Titan
mm-hmm.
as your alternative character lately, and I think now mine is my Hunter.
Yeah. Well, see,
Yeah.
we were playing a lot with because the way we did it, we had our primaries that we played. That was strictly we played it together on, and then we played our alts, which was our. It would be the warlock for me, and the hunter for you, and we were
Hmm.
playing that pretty consistently. And then we had the one that we played kind of alone,
Yeah.
and that was your titan, and that was my titan.
Right.
Um, so that the day because I've been out of work, but since when I was out of work, I was playing a lot with my Titan, and there's just something about I don't know. It's just I guess the
Yeah.
new class system that is just so much fun. But
Yeah.
um,
Well, I'm glad there's one of us that enjoys the Titan because I was actually going to bounce back and say for the amount of time that I played my Titan, and the thing is that I had a slower burn reaching from 30 or well two I was actually going 25 to 40 with
right,
him
because you use your
because that
spark.
spark.
Hmm.
So it's not like I already had him at 34 or anything like that, so that was a slow grind
Mm.
because I only played like Crucible and then a little bit of the story missions here and there. And I have to say, with the amount of time that I did spend on my Titan, I'm glad that you like
Enjoy.
playing as the Titan because I'm going to go in with the reverse and say there's something about either it's the subclass or it's the character in general. I don't care. Like I
Yeah,
don't
that's
care
how
for.
I am like with the warlock.
Yeah,
Like there's something
yeah,
about the warlock that I'm not a fan
yeah,
of. But
yeah. So, but interestingly enough, because I'm the guy over here that's like Warlock for days, but something about the Hunter now
I
has
love the hunter,
started
dude.
catching my eye.
Special place
Yeah,
in my heart.
yeah,
Which I mean, I understand why you're the warlock all day, and I'm the hunter has a special place because that's what we played on originally.
yeah. Since
That
day,
has the most logged
well, I
hours. Of
mean, and not
course,
even
it's gonna
day
be
one, like
something.
beta.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I was a warlock from beta, and it was one of those things where I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna play the warlock during the beta, and then I'm gonna try one of the new character or one of the other characters when the
When it
game comes
launches.
out.
Hmm.
And like the day that the game is coming out, I was like, "Ah, you know what? Nope, I'm gonna stick with the warlock because I had so much fun playing it during the beta. And yeah. So I mean, it's just kind of what we stuck with.
Hmm.
And see now, and I remember when we started playing, you were very quick to start your other two characters,
Yeah, because me and
whereas
Chris played the
me,
first day. We beat the story,
yeah,
so
yeah.
we were kind of
Whereas
ready
for
to do
me,
something new.
I stayed because that's how I am. Like any type of game where you can have more than one character, and the progress is different.
Hmm.
I can't do it because I always want to give my full attention to one character,
Right.
and I don't, and it's like, and it always just feels like it's like, okay, well, I've made all this progress. Now let's take 20 steps backwards and do it all again.
Hmm.
And
And to be
so
honest, that's how I usually am. I don't know what it is with Destiny that makes it so just
inviting
open.
to jump on
Yeah,
your other
because
characters
that's
and
how I
yeah,
usually am. It's almost like I feel like I'm cheating. Like I'm not. It feels like I'm not getting the most out of the game if I don't stay on the primary. Usually, because I'm
hmm
like, well, now I could be logging more times than that and making it
exactly, yeah, and
better.
I could be, yeah, and it's like now I'm spreading myself too thin is what
Mm-hmm.
it is. It's like I'm not now I'm at this constant struggle to give all these characters equal time,
Right.
and it's but I think. I think Destiny is kind of that special sort of situation where, because things are, well, most items and most, I mean, except for gear, pretty much, everything is kind of cross like your account. So
Yes.
weapons you can take from character to character, um,
Even
and things like,
marks now.
yeah, marks are universal, which is awesome. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing is really, I mean, really most of the time now it's like mission oriented stuff, and like your class specific gear are the only
Right.
things that like have to stay to your character.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, like that, I mean, but with that said, like it makes it so much more inviting for you to want to go and play the other three characters. And I think with the hunter, it's an enjoyable class, and it's giving me a break from playing the warlock for a
Sure.
while.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, so I was kind of saying that like with because I did a lot of the Vanguard stuff this morning as far as bounties and stuff like that, and I literally have, if not all 16 slots, at least 15 of the 16 slots are all Crucible.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling
So
I'm
I know what
feeling
we're
like,
doing.
yeah, I'm feeling like if you want, we'll play some Crucible
Oh
after
heck yeah,
this.
dude! I mean, I'm telling you, this is real. The whole time I've been
Yeah,
sitting here, I'm thinking about when the podcast is over, we
yeah,
get to play some Destiny.
yeah. Well, and two, I was thinking also. I mean, I don't know how well to work um, because not a lot of people really are aware of our old Noodle pot, like our channel. But I was
Sure.
actually thinking like doing like hosting like a podcast oriented stream on the old Noodle of us just playing Crucible.
Heck yeah.
Um,
We gotta figure.
but
You gotta get a capture card so you can somehow feed me, and we can do like a. You know how I have these two black boxes on the bottom left and bottom right. Somehow
mm.
put both of our. Dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah, yeah, it would be awesome. Um, but yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we may do it. I mean, we may just put it to your channel. I don't know, but
Yeah,
we
we'll
we
see.
do need to do that. Like even with PC games, like where we are able to do more of that a little bit easier. We need to have something like on a day that we do the podcast, just immediately jump into a game and play a game for the podcast for a couple of
Yeah, I think
couple
we
hours.
actually said then I we talked about this at the very beginning of the
We
in the
we
pilot
did.
episode, I
Well,
think.
we did. Yeah, we were talking about like how certain episodes were actually going to be while we played.
Sure.
Like we were going to have the podcast discussion while we played video games. So we still have yet to do that, but we'll see. We'll see. But uh, kind of bouncing back into Destiny here. So I woke up to something very interesting today, and I don't know if it's going to get rectified or not. So
Okay.
log on. I log on and I go to the character selection screen in the main menu for Destiny, and I go and I start looking at my three little, because when you go to your character selection screen, it's just your emblems and your like little player card thing. Well, I looked at my hunter and I noticed it was the default hunter emblem player card that you get at the start of the game. And I go,
Okay.
well, that's not right. I had a different emblem and player card background.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to. I was thinking, and I was like, what did I used to have on here? And I was like, oh yeah, it was my new Suros emblem.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
like, okay, well this isn't right. So I click in and I get my character loaded, and I go to my character sheet and I go down to where it has my ships and shader and all that other stuff. And sure enough, in my player card or my player emblem slot is my Suros emblem,
Okay.
but it's faded, and I'm like, or it's like grayed out. You know what I mean? Like it's got that
Mm-hmm.
little
Like you
bit of,
can't
yeah.
use
So
it.
I mouse over it and it goes pre-order bonus required, and I'm like, oh, I pre-ordered it there, Chief. So I don't know why you're saying that it's grayed out. Um, and so I switched it to another emblem because I didn't want it to be the shitty
Yeah, the
default
yeah.
hunter one.
Scrub.
Yeah, and so I went to click back on it. Won't let me. I mean, because obviously, right? Like it said that it was required. The pre-order bonus was required, and yeah, so now it won't let me. So I'm like, interesting. I'm like, let me try something else then. So I get back to the tower and I go to my shader selection in my character sheet, and I go to and in my inventory is the Suros
Shader.
shader
Okay.
pre-order bonus required.
Oh, I wonder if mine's gonna be doing it too then.
And I'm like, this is bullshit. So I go down to my shader blueprint
Hmm.
kiosk thing in the like where the outfitter is. So I go in there and like nothing. You go to the promotional side, there's not even there's nothing there for the Suros
Oh, so it's
shader.
like they took it off completely.
Maybe. But
What
that's
the
but why?
hell?
Why would they do that?
And you can't say that you can get this and then not
hmm
give that.
So my next step was, well, let me just see if the because basically it's like a kilobyte, it's like a couple of kilobytes that takes up on your, but it's basically the unlock key
Mm-hmm.
for that stuff. So I go into my managed game on the Xbox One, and sure enough, it's still there. Like it's the Suros like Arsenal and Weapons pack
Right.
is what it was called. And no, it's still in there. It's still installed. I went to go delete it, which I know now. I didn't at the time because I was just like I was so flustered by it all. But I was like, well, I need to make sure that I can still re-download this. So I like went to the page, and of course, the page on the store says unavailable because it was pre-order only.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'm not going to delete it. Da, da, da. And then I remembered, like, oh, well, it'll still be in your managed
Ready to
games, but
install.
it'll say, yeah, like, install and it'll be grayed out and stuff like that. But at the time, I was like, no, I don't want to do anything that'll remove
Mm-hmm.
proof that I
Completely.
had it on my account. And, then people think that I'm like crying wolf or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. And I tried looking online. There's no stories about it. Well, at the time that I checked it, there was no story written about it or anything like that. No information. So I don't know. I
Gotcha.
mean, I may pop back on after this and see if
Yeah, and
anything's.
I'll look too and see if mine's doing it.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, all in all, at the end of the day, not that butt hurt. I mean, as long because my
Yeah.
well, because I got really tense because I was like, oh god, like I like taking King's not going to work.
Mm,
So I went back into orbit, and fortunately, like
that's still fine.
yeah, everything in there still works just fine. So I was like, okay. I'm like, as long as my game content for the Taken King is still 100%, whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
It's an emblem and a shader that like a dozen bajillion people have.
Right.
Like, so it's not even that.
It's not rare.
Yeah, it's not rare. I mean, yeah, it does show that you pre-ordered it and all that good stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like,
I'm not even wearing it.
I can live without it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like the shader, I wasn't wearing the shader on any characters. It's just the emblem
Right.
is what I was using, and it was even for just that hunter. Like I had a emblem from the outfitter for my Titan, and then I've got the one of the Queen's emblems on my Warlock right
Mm.
now. So it's like this. The one character had the Suros Arsenal pack on it, but I don't know. I mean, I hope it gets fixed, but if not, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so we kind of went around the tail end there of
Yeah.
the topics list, but uh, so kind of going back down to our second topic there, something that I found very interesting, and I know that I shouldn't find it as a surprise.
Well, no, we already talked about it. 2 years and
What?
we already because I know what you're going to talk about. The 10 years in technology is 2 years real world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, this is for so basically same rules apply, right? So I think what was it episode? I mean, it's probably episode 2 or 3, or maybe 4 or 5. I don't know. You and I had both gotten smartwatches,
Mm-hmm.
and and the one that I had bought was the Pebble Time. And what's interesting is that like it had not been out for that long. I think it had maybe been out for 3 or 4 months. Of course, I say that now again in technology speak. That's already been like 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at work one day and I'm kind of perusing through news stories and things like that, and so I come across this one that's like Pebble has come out with a new watch, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And it's called the Pebble Time Round, which basically is the watch that I have, the Pebble Time,
Just
with
looks
a
like
round,
this.
yeah, with a round watch face now. Yep, yep. So now again, it's more of the principle of the thing that
Yeah.
I literally just bought this, and now they have a new iteration of it that I would have actually just went ahead and bought.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind my square watch face. It's really not that big of a deal.
Right.
I do think that with the watch face being round, I do think that it protrudes the buttons a little bit more and they're easier to press. Because
Mm,
where these are all like scrunched up together in a line,
sure.
and sometimes it's hard to say like, oh, okay, well I'm hitting the up down, like the up button or the down button, or no, I'm accidentally hitting the this button which is in the middle.
Right.
With the round face, it kind of separates those buttons and protrudes them out a little bit more. Um, and it like some of the where they were what they were showing off the watch faces for it, they were a little bit more classy. I guess like the one that I've got looks like an actual watch face, but it has that sort of square contour to it
Mm-hmm.
because it is a square face.
Mm-hmm.
But now with the round face, it really like the more like analog made watch faces and things like that look really really good on it.
Sure.
Obviously, because you're going to a standard watch
Clock.
face,
Yeah.
but yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, at the end of the day, like I don't remember them saying anything that was uh, more enhanced, like more performance enhancing or anything like that. Like I swear, like I think the only thing that changed is that they moved to a round watch face, which like I said, kind of just sucks because I just bought this thing
Right.
and now this is out. Like if I could have waited literally like a month and a half to 2 more months from when I bought this thing,
You could have a
I
round one.
I would have had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have had it.
'Cause I know
So.
you almost bought the 360 like I did because of the
Mhm.
round face.
hmm One thing that I was noticing because I actually saw somebody at work having one. That thing is thick.
It is, yeah. I mean,
That's
look at this, dude.
insane. Yeah, dude. That's and I don't know if you can see mine for
Yeah,
scale.
see,
I mean,
that's
like
well. Here,
that's
let me put it on because once you actually get it on, and sorry for audio listeners, but
right, right. Yeah, we're measuring watch
yeah, we're
faces, if you
being
know what I mean.
super nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me actually clasp it here. That's like the really only bad thing is it is
Yeah.
bulky. Um,
Yeah, because
wow,
I just
let me get this on.
I had to take like a double take at it because I was like,
Holy shit!
no
What is that on
way.
his wrist?
Yeah, it was, dude. I mean, it was crazy, but
Here, let
yeah,
me get it up to the
yeah,
webcam more. But see how
yeah.
much that thing is sticking up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like how that watch face isn't tore the hell up from just bumping
Oh, I
into the
know,
crap
dude.
is insane. But yeah, like but it was crazy to see how thick that thing
It's
was.
probably
But
double the size of yours.
yeah, yeah, easily, easily. But anyway, but yeah, so and then to add insult to injury, I don't know exactly. I mean, I guess it's probably tied in because I think when I downloaded like the Pebble time application, so that way you can load watch faces and apps into your watch.
Mm-hmm.
It was the email that I put in to log in. But to add insult to injury, I've gotten like 3 emails. It's like, "Hey, have you noticed that we came out with a new Pebble Time round watch?" And I'm like, "Screw you
Shut
guys!"
up.
Like, I just bought or I just paid $200 for this one, and you're wanting me to basically just say like, "Screw this," throw it off to the side, and go spend another 2 or 250 for your. I'm like, no. I'm like, as much as I'd want to, I no, I'm fine with this. It's great. So.
Yeah.
The one thing that I have noticed is that, and again, like this probably happens with anything in technology, really. But I've noticed that since I've had my watch for a while now, I really could give two shits about the apps that come on it.
Yeah, me too.
The ones that I use the most is the pedometer,
Mm.
which is I don't want to say gimmicky because that sounds too harsh. It's way too sensitive.
Yeah, it is. You can
I
just go
mean,
like this.
yeah, like I could no, and so it's not even that. Like I can literally just raise my hand, and it ticks like 4 steps. It
Oh,
ticks
wow.
4 steps to the
That's pretty
pedometer.
bad, yeah.
So any hand gestures or like pointing or moving or anything like that, and I've already walked like 30 steps. Just doing that example probably added about 20 something steps to my
Wow.
pedometer. It's pretty crazy. I was kind of bummed out once I started noticing that.
Mm-hmm.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, but I do still kind of use it because at least this way I can be like, okay, I've kind of walked about that many, you know.
Right.
Um, the only other one that I really use a lot is the stopwatch on it
Yeah.
because where our laundry unit is in our apartment, we're like a floor above it and on the other end of the complex. So, we like to know how much time we've got left on our laundry, and so we don't leave it down there and people like are
Yeah, I
weird
can.
and go through our clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So I do the stopwatch for the clothes, which is really helpful. Other than that, I use it strictly for getting
Yeah, me
notifications
too, dude. That's it.
and to tell the time. Which, I mean, a lot of people are like, "Oh, isn't that what you would use it for?" And then it's like, yeah, precisely. Like I mean, that is what it's for. But I remember like within the first like 2 or 3 weeks that I had it, like I was just nonstop, like, "Oh, what app can I get? What app can I get here for this and do that and do this and the other?" And it's one of those things where it's like at the end of the day, like I really, really just enjoying it, just being my watch,
Yeah.
being my pedometer, being my stopwatch. Like and giving me my notifications.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really nice. Like I don't have to sit here and have it be like, I don't know, beatbox for me or something.
Right.
I don't have to have an app for that. And again, like I am trying to paint this in a positive light because it's like now I'm getting away from feeling like my phone needs to have new apps like every week or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like I don't have to keep picking up my phone and wondering if I have any new notifications and stuff. Like it really is doing what
What
I
it's
want
supposed
it
to
to do.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, on from that. Another article that I came across
Mm-hmm.
was, and again, like it's surprising and it's not surprising, but I came across where the new Black Ops 3 is basically just multiplayer for the past generation consoles, and that being the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. So, first impression. Now, and again, I didn't really go in depth. Like, I didn't read the entire article or anything like that, um, because again, I kind of already know why it is why it is that.
Mm-hmm.
Because these the past generation consoles are going on 10 years now, maybe even longer. Um, but the amount of technology and whatever that has been poured into these games over that time is so much more impressive and improved from
Oh
where the
yeah.
360 and the PlayStation 3. And again, like those consoles are still pretty impressive. Like, don't get me wrong, but it gets to a point where people have got to move on, man.
Yeah, they
Like
do.
it actually still really, really genuinely surprises me that there's still games coming out
Me
for these
too.
consoles.
Me too.
I mean, obviously, it has taken quite a staggering fall as far as the amount of titles that have been released on
But
here.
it
But I
took a
mean,
long time. Look at from the Xbox to the 360. It was basically like,
it was
okay,
immediate.
that's
Oh
it.
yeah,
No
yeah, yeah,
more
yeah,
Xbox games.
yeah. It was done, and now you're still seeing
Was this a
these.
two-year mark?
What's that?
Is this a 2-year mark in October when the
Since they've come out,
yeah, since the one in the PS4 was released, or is this a
I,
3-year mark?
I wouldn't say
I think
three.
well, I want to say two. I think it's
Yeah,
the second
yeah,
year.
yeah. Verify for us, because
Yeah.
I mean, either way, it still doesn't even seem like they've been out that long. But
No. When
time
was?
flies.
Yeah. I
But
think I want to say it was 2 years.
it was
November
November.
22nd, 2013. So November it'll be the 2-year mark,
It'll be two
and they're
years. Yeah,
still making stuff for the 360.
60. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, but in working in retail and specifically working with video games retail, it was always really, really funny to have these people come in and be so appalled
Mm-hmm.
by not directly being told that they need to upgrade, but just very, very roundabout, like, hey, like this game that little Timmy's wanting to reserve right now is only coming out for the new consoles, and like you might as well have just killed their firstborn.
Mm-hmm.
Like the parents would get so, and again, like I understand they give two shits
Right.
about this sort of lifestyle, this sort of environment. They're just doing it so it shuts their kids up
Pretty much.
for a couple of hours during the day when they get home from school. And it's like, to them, it's all about, the money. It's like, well, I don't want to spend $500.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to spend, 450 or whatever. And, and it's just like, well, it's like, then find him a new hobby. I
Right.
mean, but the thing is like, whether you care about this stuff or not, you need to, there's at some point you need to understand like what's coming out and what people are building and creating now, it's just way too much
Mm-hmm.
for this hardware now. But it is hard, and it's kind of gets to the point of like, how do you explain to someone who one doesn't care?
And is very ignorant on the fact of the
Yeah, yeah,
stuff
like
on it.
yeah, it's like yeah, it could take them a little bit longer to understand that, but at the same time, like people who just and I've had people come in who actively refuse to learn,
Mm-hmm.
to like try and make sense of anything about it. Like people come in and people would come in and they have this attitude like everything that's going to come out of your mouth is going to offend them.
Yep.
And it's just like, why do you have to act that way? You know? But again, like I could just imagine all of the people that are super upset. Here's another thing though. How many, and I would love to get a legit statistic on this. How many people who buy the Call of Duty games, I want to see the completion rate on just beating the game on easy,
Mm-hmm.
what the completion rate is.
Right.
Because I tell you what, like, no one flipping plays the story for Call of Duty. I mean, I do because I want to get my $60 worth
Well,
out of
yeah,
a
and
game.
they really do good with the cinematics.
Yeah, yeah. But at the end of the day, like, I can guarantee you 99.95 of people put the disc in, hop on multiplayer,
Yep.
and that's where they live. So I can't wait to start hearing these people bitch and moan, like, "Oh, you're raping us of our money and blah 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 by taking the single player out." And it's like, dude, you weren't ever even going to press A on that single player option.
Mm-hmm.
So don't even pretend like you've been robbed
Right.
and and all this other stuff. And it's like you were just going to live on the multiplayer and zombies and whatever.
Zombies.
You know.
So much zombies. That's what all that game's turned into now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I again, like I still feel like should call it like at some point they are just going to make a strictly
Just
zombie
zombie Call of
based.
Duty.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah. I'm actually really surprised that they haven't done so.
Yeah, me too.
But no, I mean, I found it funny just in the right that so many people are going to be so upset that their 11-year-old gaming console cannot play a
Yeah,
single
exactly.
player mode for a game that is primarily multiplayer, and
But see,
people are going to be
but
upset.
people need to understand like those scenes, like those cinematics now, they're pushing 4K almost.
Hmm.
These old things can't handle that amount of intensity.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
just too much
let
video
alone
rendering.
I mean, and it's not even the fact that it's going 4K, but just the amount of detail in the visuals. Like
That's what
even
I
the
mean. Like it's not 4K, but it's like pushing. It's
right, right.
almost so
But the amount,
powerful
yeah.
that it's
But
4K.
it's rendering power. The amount
Yeah,
of, I mean,
like the
I mean,
pores on the people's faces.
mm-hmm,
The 360
mm-hmm,
can't
yeah,
keep up with each. You know,
yeah,
yeah, it's insane.
yeah. So
But
but
again, ignorance.
yeah,
They
it's what
don't.
it is.
Yeah.
It's what it is. It's people who don't want to, and that's the thing. It's like, dude, you want to play these games? I'm sorry, that's your barrier to entry.
Yep.
And and I think the thing is now is that I think these consoles are fine. I mean, obviously we've seen it with excuse me, the Xbox One already, but it's like now I think that PlayStation will be even seeing a price drop here soon.
Hmm.
I know it already hit a price cut in Japan, but I mean, hopefully it won't be too much longer before we see one in the States. I mean, it doesn't matter because I already have one, but
Right. Well,
you know,
depending on the PS4 drop, might get rid of this and
yeah.
go
Well,
pick
dude,
up that.
I mean, I'll hop on. Like, if you get one, like, I'll hop on one. I mean, again, like, I just did the PlayStation for the exclusives because I do think that, I mean, especially here recently, like Sony's definitely taken the cake on exclusives. Just because we've seen who's taking control of some of the exclusives on Xbox.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, like
I just can't start over. It'd be Destiny that I want to play, and I can't start over. I put 700 and some hours logged into this
yeah,
game. I just can't do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing though. Like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't get a PlayStation unless you absolutely either A wanted to make the commitment and redo Destiny again. Um, you know,
Sounds
but I mean,
terrible.
again though, the thing is that you make it sound like it's really really bad. But the thing is that if all you did was get Taken King, you get to 25 immediately. You're
With
already
one
playing.
character.
Right, right. And I mean, but who's to say that you won't just have fun with playing your one character for X amount of time?
Right.
And you know that you're going to play, and then one day you're going to be home from work. It's going to be on the weekend or whatever the case is, and you're going to be like, you know what?
I'll just play the story again.
I just want a new character, and I'm gonna come home, and you're gonna have another character that's like 20, or not even that. You'll have a level 34 character that you did in one day, and and I'm gonna be like, I effing told you so. And you're,
Now,
yeah.
do they make controllers still that shape like Xbox controllers for the PlayStation?
Um, yeah, I think they've started putting some third party controllers out there that are tied to that schema. Um, but I'm telling you, man, for somebody that's also like pro like layout, like Xbox layout, the PS4 controllers are actually not that bad this time
Yeah, but
around.
they're bad for me because I use my index finger. That's honestly, you want to know why I've never played PlayStation?
Hmm.
Because I can't curl my index finger enough to get those buttons like I can with the
You know what though? Like
360.
again though, like hang on. I mean, again, audio listeners, sorry, but it's like well,
Let me
yeah. I
see.
mean,
Can
I
you move
guess
it,
I
move it,
guess I
move it?
kind of see that.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too big. Look at
Yeah.
the comparison. It's all because the spacing of the thumbsticks. They're like
Mm-hmm.
this, so
Mm-hmm.
it gives me more room to curl over.
But I mean, I still I think you could do it though, because I mean, even like all you have to do is just like like just move your hand on the handle a little bit more, and I mean,
Hmm.
and you would do it, dude. I think you would figure out in no time like how to get that to work for you. And again, I just cut off my entire hand. I'm seeing from the preview,
Yeah,
but
it's all right.
anyway, I like I said, a little bit of time spent with that. But who knows? By the time that to say in this scenario that you would get one, who's to say that there wouldn't be a third, like definitely a third party that has
Oh,
an
I'm
Xbox
sure there
schema
is. There
out there?
used to be for
Yeah,
PlayStation 2, so and
and there was
3.
for PlayStation 3. Yeah,
Yeah, because I had that.
actually
So
had one. Now the only thing was is that the one that I bought, like just the thumbsticks were terrible
yeah,
on it. The buttons didn't. I mean, there wasn't that click of the buttons. It was more mushy, which I can't stand.
yep.
So ultimately, I did stay with playing on a PlayStation controller. Um, but there is something different about the PlayStation 4 controller that's just a hell of a lot better than
Yeah.
what PlayStation 3 used to be,
Well, I mean, it
or
looks
any
nicer
of them.
too.
Yeah, yeah, I really do like it. The only thing that's a pain in the butt is the stupid light at the front of the controller that stays on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and thank goodness because when the console came out, there was only you had one light setting, which was like 100% power, and it drained your battery in a matter of hours of
Mm-hmm.
playing. And now you can go in and dim it, and it adds a little bit more playtime to your controller.
Yeah.
Um, but now, I mean, but again, granted, this one has a lithium ion battery. You don't have to buy extra batteries or do anything like that. You just plug it in and go.
USB. Yeah.
Whereas with the Xbox One, you at least had to get the charger play kit.
Right.
So there's pros and cons to each one. So, but
Mm.
no, man. I mean, all I'm saying is that like you'd get your 25 from the Taken King, you'd focus on that character for however long, and it'd get to you. It'd get
Yeah.
to
But
you,
here's
and you
okay.
would.
So here's the thing. And I don't know if listeners really want to hear us talk about if we're gonna get this or not. But we've been playing a lot on the
Mhm.
Xbox One recently, right?
Right?
Hours, probably 300 hours in the last like 6 months. Okay, just
Yeah,
just
I would like to see a
nonstop play.
breakdown. I
Yeah,
would
me
like to see
too.
a breakdown of that.
I am not a person that likes I can't be you and do both consoles. There's just something in me
Well,
that
okay, so now,
I can't do it.
yeah,
The Xbox would have to go. It would
right.
it's got to go if I get a
But here's the
PlayStation.
thing, though. Here's the thing, though. Here's the difference, though, because I don't know if it was that I necessarily told you how that experience went, or what. But when I got my PlayStation 4, and because again, the thing that kind of tied it over for me getting one was Uncharted. Like Uncharted 4 was coming out, I was like, all right, like that's gonna be it. I'm gonna get one, but also the deciding factor was I also had about six people
That
that
you
I
played with.
personally know that played Destiny on PS4.
Right.
I wasn't playing Destiny on Xbox
I
at
know.
the time.
I know.
So
I
the
wasn't
thing
either.
is you
I
sit
didn't have
here
an
and you
Xbox.
say, yeah, you sit here and you say that I was playing on both actively. I wasn't.
Right.
when I got Destiny on my PS4, that's all I played on.
Mm-hmm.
I did not. I mean, yeah, like maybe once in a while, like I would pop on Xbox One and kind of fumble around a bit on it and just do this and that, but I did not put the amount of hours that we have been put. Like ever since you got back,
Right.
I did not. I mean,
So that's where I was going with it. Okay.
yeah.
So if I did, that's all. Like I'll never play that again. And
Hmm.
that means you will have to go back over to PlayStation to play Destiny with me.
Which is fine. But you don't understand that like this is you're the only person that I played Destiny with anyway. So why would you think that that would be like
Because
make me butter?
here's the only reason I've been really sitting and thinking about it, and I feel like a lot of people, if they do listen to this, they probably can relate. The Xbox is a shitty console.
It is
Um,
not the greatest.
and Halo looks like a piece of turd out of water.
It does. Yeah.
And I'm not even excited for that. And that's really, I bought the Halo Master Chief Collection because we wanted to play Halo, and we didn't even play it that much.
What do you mean we? I mean, it was against our own will that we couldn't or that we didn't want to play it that much because we can't play it because it's
Right.
an unplayable piece of garbage.
Yes. So
But anyway, yeah.
I'm looking like long term now, okay? Because do I want to hold on to a console? Yeah, I'm basically gonna hold on to it for one game, Destiny, because that's really the only thing I'm looking forward to on the Xbox, right? The
Hmm.
PlayStation, I look over and it's like all these great games out there. It's like the one that you were telling about, the Telltale game last week you were talking about. There's the Uncharted series, which I played the first one, loved it, but
Yeah.
never could play them again because I never had the Sony consoles anymore. There's
Right.
just like so
Well-
much that's
well,
just
now-
like, ooh, that
now
looks
you
good.
know.
Ooh, that looks good, but I can't play them.
Yeah, well now you can get a PS4 and they're coming out with the Uncharted collection, which has all three of
All
them
of
in
them,
there.
I know.
Yeah,
So there's
and
like
I'm
there's
getting
so
that, and I'm
many
getting-
things on the PlayStation that it's just like long term. I mean I have a $400 console sitting right here and I play one game.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah. No, and that's what I mean, I'm not trying to tell you what to do or anything, but all in all, like when I pop on to the PlayStation every once in a while and I play Metal Gear or I play Lego The Hobbit with Angie or this, that, and the other, it's like I turn this console on and I'm like, holy crap, this is a console that works.
yes.
Like, I turn it on, it does everything that I want it to do. It doesn't need to be flashy. It doesn't need to snap apps together, which is stupid anyway.
Mhm.
It does everything that I want it to do and what is expected of an entertainment system.
Right.
It's yeah. I mean, I'm taken aback, and again, it's like I almost want a reason to get on my PlayStation more, but because you and I play Destiny, that's where I
So you're
surround.
saying right now. Okay, right now. We hang up this call. This podcast is over.
Mhm.
And I go down the street to Fry's Electronics and pick up a PS4. We would just that'd be it. That's it for Xbox. We're okay with that.
I mean, if you want now, I mean now
You're like, hang on.
let me explain myself. I'm not going to do what you do though,
And get rid of your Xbox.
and get rid of my
Oh
Xbox.
no, I completely.
Yeah.
That's fine. You've always been the guy that likes to have the multiple consoles, but it's
Yeah.
it's kind of like going back to what you said about switching characters.
Mhm.
I can't have two consoles. There's just I have my PC gaming and I have
Yeah.
a console to game on. That's it. One.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, see, here's the thing, and I mean, it's like, and I'm in the boat with you too, and it's not like I don't understand where you're coming from as far as having it just immediately jumping ship on something and having to start over. It will be a bit, it'll be some getting used to again because we're going to be getting a lot of exotics and a lot of things that we already
But
have.
there's almost something exciting about it.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. I mean, and we've talked about that with Destiny, where it is rewarding just getting that stuff.
Right.
You know,
And then I just, I think I think it's it. I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna go get a PlayStation.
I always do this. I always talk you into something, and not even days, not even weeks, but like months down the road, it always comes back to bite me. And you're like, you told me.
Oh,
you,
so
you talked me into.
You mean like this? And for audio listeners, that I'm holding up Grand Theft Auto 5 because for months this guy is telling me, you should go get GTA, you should go get GTA. You know how many times we played this? Once, and it was for 5 minutes, and we got back on Destiny. That's it. That's a waste of money sitting right there.
So okay, so take that example.
Yeah,
Take
but
that
here,
example
but,
and really think that through.
but, I can play a lot more stuff by myself on the
Can't,
PlayStation because I would.
can't.
There's actually stuff that I want to play, and because it's like I know I've never had a PS4, it's gonna be like, ooh, I want that one, and I want that
Hmm.
game, and I want that game, and I can actually have a lot of fun and
Yeah,
stuff by myself. And then I know whenever you're on, we're gonna play Destiny anyway. It's
right.
not gonna change that. We're still gonna play Destiny because the itch is real. It
Hmm.
exists,
Hmm.
and it's hardcore addiction. So.
Yeah,
Well, all right. Well, I hope you didn't want to play right away because I'm just gonna go pick up a PlayStation after
yeah,
this. So,
yeah. Yeah. That's fine. Oh, well, I mean, I guess it's a two-way street because now I'll have to sit down. I'll have to reactivate my PlayStation Plus, and I'll have to get Taken King.
yeah. Oh, we can play Rocket League on there too.
Yeah, yeah. Because as soon as I get, well, you'll. I don't know that that's the free game anymore for Plus users.
Oh, well then that's fine. We have it on PC,
PC. Yeah,
and
because I
we're
was going
already
to
so
say,
high up there on there with everything
yeah,
unlocked.
yeah. Um, but yeah, yeah. So for you, but I mean, yeah, you. So you're gonna have to buy the console. You're gonna have to buy Destiny.
Yeah. So if
Well,
if
but
anybody
okay,
is
okay,
looking
okay.
for an Xbox console, just let me know.
Dude,
And but here's something even better. If you want a level 40 Warlock, a level 40 Hunter, and a level 40 Titan
yeah.
Xbox Live account,
See,
let me know.
and that's the thing too. Is like, I mean, I know we're kind of joking about this because it's on the podcast, and but you know, it's one of those things where like that's the difference too between you and me is that you can get on to God knows where on the internet and sell your account.
Oh
Like
yeah, I've already sold my World of
never,
Warcraft account. I sold my League of
yeah,
Legends ones. Like I'll just sell
yeah.
it today. Like it'll sell
Yeah,
today.
exactly. And it's like me, I would go out there and it would take me months to try and hawk this.
Yeah,
What, you know?
well, just I think it's just in. I could put this Xbox on Craigslist right now, and I would
Mhm.
have 4 hits in 30 minutes because I
Yeah,
live in Phoenix. You know, there's
right,
like 7,
right.
8 million people that's documented. So undocumented people, it's probably 10, 11 million. So
Hmm.
it's insane. So I think it's gonna happen. I think
Yeah,
the episode 11 of the old noodle talked me into getting a PlayStation.
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it is just one of those things where it's like, I mean, I would hate to see, you know, and again, it's a 50-50, man, because it's like I sit here and I dog on the Xbox, and it for most of what I talk about, it is pretty much worthy of the shit that I give it, but you know, it is again, it's trying to show, and I guess what you said, like how one of the reasons why you can't do multiple consoles is you can't show the other one enough love,
Yeah, you
like
can't.
in time. Yeah.
No.
So,
And
but
it's just like a glorified expensive paperweight, and
mhm,
I just can't. So I just usually do the one.
yeah.
So, but if I'm gonna have one, I might as well have the one that I can actually play more.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, but and that's the thing too. It's like you were saying, like Halo. Like I have been very bummed out, not even looking forward to
yeah,
Halo.
I'm you know that's it. I don't even care. I think I'll watch a stream of it when it comes out to see what it's like. But I don't think even if it's awesome, I'm not gonna miss it.
Hmm.
I think that's just something that when Bungie left it, I left it, and
Yeah.
it's just that is what it is. Like to me, PvP, Crucible, and Destiny is more fun than the PvP aspect of Halo. So
Right. Right.
yeah, well.
But yeah, I mean,
Go ahead and
it,
shout out the date for the Battlefront, because that's something that I'm gonna get on PlayStation now too. Is
oh
Battlefront.
well, yeah, yeah. Or so okay. So wait a minute though. Are you saying that you're going to get the full game on PlayStation, or are we still going to get it on PC together?
Oh yeah, we did get it on. Did we say we're gonna get it on PC?
I think we were talking about getting it on PC.
I just think we
Now we
probably
can't.
should.
Now we can do it on PlayStation if you want. I don't really care, and I'll actually have like a couple of other people that'll have it on PlayStation that can play with us.
We might just do that then, because I'm probably gonna
Yeah,
want it because it's a new console for me.
yeah,
So
yes, and that's fine because I mean, obviously, like it'll be able to run at this point now. Unfortunately, like I was saying earlier, these consoles will probably be able to display stuff better
PC can.
than my computer currently can until I
Right.
choose to upgrade parts of it. So yeah, yeah, that'll work. That'll work, and we'll have more people to play with than on PC. But so yeah.
Cool.
But anyway, basically, what I was just gonna say is the beta's coming out in October. The cool thing is that you don't have to register for it. You just go to the PlayStation Store and download it.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so really cool. But that pretty much about wraps it up. I mean,
Sorry for the
uh,
little rant about me deciding if I wanted an Xbox or
for,
not, but I
for
feel
like,
I feel like a lot of people are in the same boat. To be honest with you,
mhm,
I feel
mhm,
like we were expecting so much from this Xbox One, and it's just been
yeah.
letdown after letdown. So
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get a month in and you just giving me shit on shit on shit
technically, you
about
didn't say
you.
anything. I did. I'm the one.
Yeah.
I can go back and replay
You
this,
just
and
needed affirmation is
I
what it
did. That's what
was.
it was.
But
That's
you
what it
know,
was.
and I feel a little manipulated now because you know that I'd be the one to do it. I think I've just been played a little bit. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening to our 20-minute rant about why Luke should get a PlayStation. Um, and then of course followed out by our other stuff that we talked about earlier. So
Yeah.
still going to be playing Destiny, but it looks like we're going over to the PlayStation now. So
Yeah, check us
uh,
out. I stream every time we're on. Every time Aaron and I play, I am streaming on a different channel, Twiggy Gaming, TWIGGIE Gaming. Check us out there if you actually want to see, because I don't know if we're actually going to do the whole. It'd be a lot of setup, is the only thing that's like holding me back for the whole play while we. Because I want you guys to be able to see what we're doing and see us and do the whole podcast
hmm
thing. So
hmm
we might just have to do a separate stream while we podcast and then just put it all into one later on. But so check us out there. Aaron also streams every once in a while. Do you do Twitch though? Don't you?
Yeah, still just Twitch, but now since we're going to be on PlayStation,
YouTube Gaming.
now this is not out yet though. It's a beta build which I do not have access for because I don't want the universe to break my console
Sure.
on a beta build. But yeah, I mean, surely to goodness it won't be much longer before that system update comes out that's stable, and then I'll be on YouTube Gaming. So that'll be awesome. And then
Yep.
I'll probably be streaming, especially like when you and I obviously play together. Then I'll be streaming a lot more.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, but I mean, yeah, for now you can catch me at Twitch slash J Clark 23. Because I'm real original with my names. But other than that, subscribe on the YouTube channel for the old noodle.
SoundCloud if you like audio more.
Yeah. SoundCloud for the audio listeners out there. We appreciate the. I mean, what SoundCloud? You just follow. You
Yeah,
just
there's a
follow okay.
follow. Yep.
Yeah, so just give us a follow on that, or thumbs up our podcast or individual ones. I'm sure not all of them are as great as this one. But yeah, so just show us some love in any way that you can. Be much appreciated. So anyway, until next week, we'll see you then.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.